will make it like it never even happened. Find out how they can help you by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
9 minutes after 8 o'clock is news time on this Tuesday. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 8 o'clock newscast streaming to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. A significant milestone has been met as a DeWitt County nonprofit moves forward to comply with state standards. Encore Developmental Services has for 2 years now been working to meet the code of the state fire marshal's office after a surprise visit found the nonprofit woefully short of the state's mandates. Executive Director Stephanie Kuntz says they've recently made positive progress to that end.
The latest is that we finally have an approved plan from the Office of State Fire Marshal. That is very good. Yeah, they had to go back and forth. There was a lot of back and forth between the architect and the fire marshal's office to determine what they wanted done, and so we're glad it's done. But unfortunately, or maybe better for us if a fire would happen, is that what the design is maybe more complicated or requires more work than the architect had thought and previously.
Really?
A year ago or so.
Kuntz reminds a yearly inspection with the fire marshal's office a couple of years ago brought up several issues with the safety of their building on Clinton's east side. It was a new inspector after many years with the same individual. In that time, the agency has had a lot of back and forth with the state over its plans.
2 years ago, we had our biannual fire marshal inspection, and it was a different fire marshal than usual. Our previous one, who had inspected us since the 90s, I believe, had retired. And so we had a new person came in, and then he saw our old DeWitt County cattle auction house and went, whoa, hold on here. And so then he left, and he brought back, 5 more fire marshals a month later, the beginning of August 2 years ago. And they all went, whoa. And some of them loved the thrift store, thought it was great. And then they also did not like the fact that it was non-agricultural buildings don't have to be designed or, fit any codes when it was built. So they changed our ranking, or I can't even think what it's called right now, but we were like a business before, and then they changed that all into
your designation.
Split us up into several different things for our landscape business, our store business, the warehouse. So that created some issues, and it came back with a letter with pages and pages of things that needed mitigated. Well, we started with taking care of the things we knew we could take care of. The small things on the list, some lights up, maybe on an exit sign, that kind of thing. Just some other, easy things to take care of. And then also on that list, it had us contact an architect. So that started out with finding architect. And so we ended up with AEX, Architectural Expressions, down in Decatur, and they have been fantastic to work with and very patient with us, and went over and over what we had expected this to be. We expected it to be pretty short, and it's ended up being 2 years.
Now Encore is trying to assess its next step and determine a cost for the approved improvements, and set out to fundraise to reach that figure.
The plan is to find out how much these walls and doors and lighting and things are going to cost. So we're going to find out what that costs, and then I would like to, at least in my idea world, this fall, start maybe in late fall. We'll see how it all rolls. I'm always overzealous when it comes to these things. It's to start at least some type of construction, whether it be one of the walls or working on those doors and exit, and get that, and then see next spring, do the next one. And next phase, and then hopefully next fall, so we can have all those mitigation pieces. I would love to have them done in a year. And then we can start. We have other things with this growth that can happen by finishing those spaces that are created by the walls for our programming, because our programming side, we have been growing in spite of all of this. We are serving more people. I had 3 referrals over the weekend for people who are interested in our services. So that means staffing. That means spaces for people to be where they need to be. So if we can then finish off especially the front space that will be created with the front firewall, then we can, and bathrooms that are really needed, more people, that's a necessity. So we can be able to serve more and continue doing what we do.
Through all the stress and chaos of trying to plan for the updates, Kuntz and her staff have kept the doors of Encore open to serve the most vulnerable in our community. They've also dealt with some adversity through it as well. This past winter, they had a water pipe burst in the facility that caused quite a bit of damage. It was another cool wet week in Illinois, although rainfall was below average this past week. State crop statistician Mark Schleusner in this week's crop report indicates topsoil moisture is 82% adequate this week.
Temperatures were cooler than average for the fourth consecutive week, but rainfall was below normal last week across Illinois. Temperatures averaged 73.6 degrees, and that was 1.7 degrees below normal. Rainfall averaged 2/3 of an inch, which was 0.21 inches below normal. There were 5.6 days suitable for field work around the Prairie State last week, and topsoil moisture was rated 2% very short, 9 short, 82 adequate, and 7% surplus.
Soybeans remain largely in good to excellent condition, and the crop is ahead of the 5-year average.
88% of soybean acres are now blooming compared to 86 1 year ago and 71% for the 5-year average. 58% of acres are setting pods compared to 37 normally. Soybean conditions were rated 7% very poor to poor, 21 fair, and 72% good to excellent.
The crop remains mostly ahead of schedule. The corn crop, remains mostly ahead of schedule and mostly in good to excellent condition.
87% of corn acres are silking compared to 93% 1 year ago and 85% for the 5-year average. 34% of acres have reached the dough stage compared to 26 normally. Corn conditions were rated 6% very poor to poor, 18 fair, and 76% good to excellent.
0% of pasture conditions are in poor condition, with 63% in good to excellent condition. Get news anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. News streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton.
Hi, this is Connie at Love It Once More Thrift Store in Clinton. Just in time for the heat of the summer, we have all our shorts and swimwear 20% off for the whole family. Don't forget to follow us